Well, good morning. This is Dr. David A. Padgett. Welcome to our second day of student GIS project presentations. So yesterday was officially Earth Day, April 22nd, 2024. And so yesterday we had 2 days, well, not 2 days, we had 2 different sessions of students presenting their geographic information systems assignments. And we are continuing on today as we do every year around this time. And in the fall, we do this in conjunction with National GIS Day and Geography Awareness Week. So without any further delay, let's just set some context. So the students, well, some of the students, you'll see what's going to happen moving forward. But some of the students will be presenting data collected around the time of the 2024 eclipse event, which occurred on April 8th of this year. This class, this particular section meets on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So what we did was we went out and collected data on the day after the eclipse. So it gave us some amount of context in terms of the atmospheric conditions and how they might be on a quote unquote normal day, even though it wasn't the same day. We know the atmosphere changes every day. So the photographs you're seeing on the screen now were taken during the eclipse. I had the fortunate circumstance of having one of my class sections meet at the exact same time that the eclipse went from 0 to 95% coverage. And so we were able to watch that happen over the hour and 20-minute duration of the class. We also had about 30 local homeschool kids on campus. They also collected globe data outside. And later on, the students will participate in a student research symposium that TSU will be hosting in June. So we've been working with these students all year. Here is a temperature profile that we collected using the Globe Observer Eclipse, or the Globe Observer app Eclipse tool. It's a tool that was temporarily included on the Globe Observer app. And we noticed the dip in temperature that was expected, about a 2, almost 3 degree dip in temperature through the period of the eclipse, 3 degrees Celsius, excuse me. And then you can see the temperature, after the eclipse started to wane, the temperature returned to its previous level. Here is a table of the data that we collected on the day of the eclipse. So going further in giving you context as we lead up to our student presentations, is the evolution of geographic information systems instruction here at Tennessee State University. And so early in the 25 years that I've been at Tennessee State University, we were limited to desktop geographic information system software that could either be downloaded onto a laptop or installed using a CD. That proved to be limiting because it only allowed us to work with small numbers of students, usually in the upper division courses, which presented a challenge. And the challenge is that even though GIS and geospatial technology is ubiquitous across all disciplines of study, here at Tennessee State University, we really don't have a strong presence of GIS in engineering. We don't have a strong presence in the College of Health, very strong presence in agriculture, and of course, I am in the College of Liberal Arts. So in many instances, our students may unfortunately matriculate through this institution without ever having any hands-on experience with the technology that is obviously has permeated all aspects of life, from Uber to Amazon to real estate, and on and on and on and on and on. So what I used to do is I was limited to only talking about GIS in my relatively large TSU, 30 students, 25 students. In my large world regional geography sections, I was limited to pretty much just talking about GIS, here's what GIS can do, here's a slideshow, but we didn't have the capacity really to give the students an opportunity to engage in hands-on engagement or hands-on work until ArcGIS Online came along. And it's really been, I would almost say, a godsend, because ArcGIS Online really doesn't matter what the computing capacity of the student is. It doesn't matter what the computing capacity of the university is. It's a very easy download. It's free, although we do have a campus-wide site license now. So if the student starts with a simple free version of ArcGIS Online, because these students are students at a university that has a campus-wide site license, they can easily upgrade to the full suite of GIS software packages when that is necessary. So I've developed 5 interactive, engaging exercises. First one, mapping well-known hometown landmarks. It allows the students the opportunity to kind of get introduced to the software. They work through an ESRI, an ESRI, Environmental Systems Research Institute course, at the end of which they get a certificate. And so then the next assignment is collaborative. All the students build an attribute table using specific data from their hometown, such as census data, physical environment data, build that into a spreadsheet, which is then used to build a collaborative class GIS map. This assignment I threw in, this is new. This assignment, students were able to take raw data, pull it into the hometown geography map, and engage in analysis, specifically looking at the climate of their various hometowns. Then the next assignment is, again, taking raw data, drawing from the Population Reference Bureau for populations of various Caribbean countries as we move into that unit. And then this assignment introduces students to the story map template. And so, as we all know, the capability to build story maps is in very high demand across the board. And the next to the last assignment, which we might see, well, we will see some today, is the mapping of the GIS data from the GLOBE atmosphere protocol data collection. And then for the students' final exam, they will have a 6 GIS project. And so this kind of hands-on project-based learning is more favorable than taking wrote memorization-based exams, quizzes, at the end of this experience in using GIS, the students have a product. So this is part of the reason that I no longer give a final exam, I give a final project, because at the end of the day, a final exam is not a true assessment of student learning, because the student never comes back and sees the final exam ever. Take the exam, go home, and that's the end of it. But with this final exam project, the student will be evaluated and then can use that product, that is the map, as an example, working example of his, her, or their acumen in terms of using this software. And it's hard evidence that can be put in a student's digital resume or actual resume as a link, so that if asked, well, what experience do you have with GIS? The student can easily say, well, here's a map that I created, or several maps I created during this class. So that just gives us the context. So without any further delay, we'll get to the main event and bring students up here to demonstrate what they've done. And then we will. So we're not expecting perfection here. This is a work in progress. So whatever condition these maps are in, so be it. You joined me before, you know that we spend a lot of time actually working with the students' maps on the fly. So let's see what we have here. First little, and so Terry, she's gonna come up, share whatever she's done. So we actually have some analysis here. Let's see. We're gonna try this first, and if necessary, we'll have Miss Little actually log in. So it's good so far. Okay, so I'm gonna get out of the way here, and we're gonna have Kirsten Little come up, and I am going to ask her some questions. She navigates her map. Oh, so Miss Kirsten is going to introduce herself, her major, where she's from, and then we're going to get going.
I'm Kirsten Little. I'm from Nashville. My major is studio art.
Okay, so from this point, talk us a little bit louder so the microphone can pick you up. All right, so let's see what we have here. So, so it looks like the points are in the right locations in terms of where we were on April the 9th. So we've got, all right, so let's click on the graduated symbol at the courtyard, old courtyard northwest corner site first. Let's see what we're working with here. Okay, so okay, something is going on here. Well, maybe not. So yeah, I guess it's right. Oh no. All right, for whatever reason. No, see that's we're not gonna log it. Normally the log. I think it's okay. I'm just looking at the. All right, go to the other site, the certain of the. Okay. 13, 8, 9. I'm trying to figure out why the current temperature maximum is 32, even though there's no data that is anywhere near it, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. So let's close this box here, and I'm going to look very closely. Okay, so we have the graduated symbol at the Old Courtyard Northwest site that clearly aligns with, oh, okay, I see. Scroll down through the legend. Okay. Trying to see if you can do this from here. You should be able to. Let's try it. Go to content for a second. No, go back to the legend. Bring the legend back up. Okay, so click on the graduated symbol that's at the Old Courtyard Northwest. All right, let's see. So we've got 16 degrees. So the surface temperature and the current temperature are almost the same there at 16 degrees. So, okay, let's go to the other point. So we have 16 and then 13 for the surface temperature. So we're not, so that, I want to come back to that in a moment. And this brings forth the point that oftentimes, well, not oftentimes, all the time, it's your data that's really important because that's what drives what's on the map. And then the second point I'm trying to make, which is very important in terms of GIS, is understanding the design, the cartographic design, which is the issue that we're having here. Not that it's a serious issue, but it is an issue that we have to correct because if you minimize the dialog box, because if you notice, the temperatures at the northwest corner site there shouldn't be that gap. So the question is, how can we correct for that so that the magnitude of our data matches what we're seeing on the map? Because right now it doesn't. Let me see if we can fix this without logging into the program. I don't know. Let's see. So to go to content and then click on current air temperatures there. See, go back to legend for a second, just 1 second. Okay, that's the one that has the issues. Okay, go back to content, current air temperature. Go to the change style. All right, I think we can fix this from here. Okay, scroll down. I think we can fix it. Scroll up. Go to options, counting amounts, options. Okay, scroll down. Okay, so change that max to 40 pixels. Okay, hit OK, and let's see how that affects. Hit options, and hit OK again. Hit done. Go to legend. Okay, that did not do All right, let's go back to content. Go to surface temperatures, change style. Okay, scroll down. Let's see what go hit options. Scroll down. Let's see, so our max is 50 there. See, 16 is our max. Let's push that down to 40 and see what happens. We have the max at the same size. Let's push it to 35. Okay. Let's see, let's push it to 30. Okay, that's close enough. Hit OK. And hit done. And go to legend. Okay, so we've got 16 and wait a minute, click on this again. Let's see, which one is so the surface temperature is a tenth, okay, 10th of a degree Celsius larger. Okay, so what okay, yeah, just leave it like that. Okay, so then close the dialog box. Okay, so let's go out to the Northwest Lawn site. Let's see what we have there. So we have the surface temperature and then the current. Okay, so close that. Okay, so now we have visually, so we had to manipulate the symbology so that it would more closely represent the data that's in our data table. So that we successfully did that. So now we can do some kind of analysis. So Kirsten, when you analyze the data, what did you mention was, what did you notice it was different between the northwest corner data observations and the data that's on the lawn?
For the data on the northwest corner, there was very little difference between the temperatures of the surface and the actual current temperature. But for the lawn, there was a larger difference. I'm assuming that's because concrete, we took the surface temperature measurements on concrete for the northwest corner, but the lawn was just grass, and that was wet. So I'm assuming that made the temperature difference bigger.
Yes, go back and click on the, yeah, that's exactly right. Go back and click on the Northwest Lawn site. So surface temperature was actually lower than the current temperature. And the current temperature was basically the same, I think, at the, yeah, it was. Yeah, definitely was at the north. So the current temperature did not change. 16 degrees Celsius did not change from one site to the other, but we definitely saw a difference in the current temperature, in the surface temperature, excuse me. So close that. I'm trying to get something, I'm trying to visualize. So something, I don't know, I mean, there's something, don't want to, okay, we got time today. Go to content again, just to see something real quick. Go to current air temperatures, change style, go to options. Okay, so see that little scale? Drag that 32 down. Keep going. Oh, see the max. You're right there. Okay, let's see. Now hit OK. And then hit done. Okay, I'm thinking that, okay, go to the legend again. All right, so there's still a problem in that current temperature should not be larger than the surface. So let's go back to the content. Go to surface temperatures. Yeah, change style. Okay, options. Okay, scroll down. Okay, let's make that maximum 35 and see what happens. Hit okay. Go to options again, still not getting there. Make the max 40. See what happens. Okay, that's got it. Hit okay. Hit done. Go back to legend. Okay, so now this gives us a much better visual because we have the surface temperature just barely visible, is just barely being larger than the current temperature at the northwest corner site. But of course, we can clearly see that the surface temperature is less than the ambient temperature over the lawn, even though if we really wanted to play with this, because we know that the temperature, the ambient temperature did not change, but we can clearly, unless I'm not seeing straight, it looks like the symbol for 16 degrees Celsius at the northwest corner is actually a little bit larger than the one. So we'd have to play with this a little bit longer to get those two symbols that are supposed to be both 16 degrees Celsius to be the same size. But we can see what we need to see without going through all those making all those adjustments. So Kirsten, when you answered the question about cloud cover, how do you think the cloud cover might have affected what you're seeing here?
Since the cloud coverage was about 90% that day, I'm assuming that the amount of clouds present reduced the amount of heat that was present for the temperatures.
Yeah, and certainly, so if it had been a sunnier day, even though now this image does not reflect the leaf out percentage that we had on that day, or the leaves were not as pronounced. It wasn't as shady, so to speak, on that day. So we can't go by what's on the satellite image. We can only go by what we saw outside. So if this had been a sunnier day, then I would assume that concrete could have been warm. But click on the northwest corner site again. Let's see what time of day. So it was 10:07 a.m. in the morning. So maybe we might not have had the time lag that it took, because remember what we learned was that incoming solar radiation, the shortwave radiation, does not warm the Earth's atmosphere. It has to be absorbed by the Earth first. And then there's a couple hours lag time before that long wave radiation is released from the Earth and is absorbed by greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide and methane and so on and so forth. So since it was so early in the day, perhaps that warming of the concrete didn't even have a chance to happen yet. So the concrete is very close to the surface temperature. Had we come back later in the day, especially if we would come back later in the day on a sunny day, we might get totally different results. But of course, we didn't have a chance to do that. Let's see, so I asked about the cloud cover, I asked about, you can close the dialog box. And so and then clearly the grass, of course, takes even longer than the concrete to warm up. And so this grass, clearly the temperature of the grass being 3 degrees Celsius lower than the concrete surface, even on a cloudy day, just shows how green infrastructure can be used in urban design to lower temperatures. So, you know, and you can clearly see it here, that when we have places covered by grass, that temperatures are going to be lower. And sometimes what's interesting is when we go out on days in the fall, when there's greater leaf out, oftentimes what we'll see is these temperatures will actually be lower than the temperatures out here, because especially if it's sunny, even though this is grass, the temperatures here will be higher than the temperatures in the shade. But what we'll also see is that the difference in temperature here between the surface temperature and the ambient temperature is usually is somewhat narrower. So you'll see a less of a difference, even no matter how warm it gets here, the ambient temperature and the surface temperature will be not close, but what you'll see here is even in the shade, the concrete will be much warmer than the ambient air, even in the shade. Although the shade does have a modifying effect. It really depends upon the time of day. But anyway, so thank you, Kirsten Little, for being our first presenter today. And so we'll bring our second presenter up next. Here we close. Not sign in. Okay, so I'm gonna close this map. And let's see. So we're off to a good start. Okay, so we're going to have next student come up. He's going to introduce himself, name, where you're from, major, and then we'll get into the map here.
My name is Chris Sims Jr. I'm from Huntsville, Alabama, and my major is architectural engineering.
Okay, so let's take a look at what we have here. So we've got the surface temperature. And okay, so scroll down in the legend. So let's see, both layers are named surface temperature. So let's try to see which one is which. So click on this, well, at least the points are in the right place. That's we're off to a good start. Yeah, so click on the Old Courtyard Northwest site. So they're very, notice again, they're very close together. 14.6 versus 15 degrees Celsius. Okay, close that. So wait, oh, click it again, click it again. So 14.6, 15. So the current temp, and this, that's interesting. In this case, the surface temperature is lower than the current temperature. All right, so close that out. And now go to the other point, click on the other point. So we've got a surface temperature of 11 degrees Celsius. Go back to the Old Northwest. What's the current temperature? So in this case, Sims's current temperature, you got two different readings, which is fine. It's interesting. So let's try to see if we can adjust this map to make it more aesthetically pleasing. So go to, let's see, what do we need to fix? We need to fix a couple of things. So go to content, go to the second layer, globe atmosphere data. Click there, go to change style. Okay, okay, I see now. Okay, see a little X next to where it says globe surface temperature? Yeah, click that out, get rid of that. Now change where it says cloud types to change, just make this surface temperature thing. Yeah, okay. Wait. Make it current temperature. I'm sorry. The other one says surface. Current temperature. Okay, hit done. See where we are now. So we have go to legend. So we have surface temperature and then current temperature. So let's see. Click on the northwest corner point again. Okay. Oh, so surface. Yeah, that's 14.6. Okay. And the current temperature is 15. So what should we do? What should we do? Okay, go to content. Go to the first layer. Change style. Options. Right down, right in the middle of the, let's keep going. The options. Okay, so scroll down. Okay, that's fine. Let's make the maximum pixels. Let's just push that to 60. See what happens. Might have to do a lot. Okay. Okay, so we've got 8. Okay, so we only have, okay, let's try this. Make the minimum, take that back down to 50. And then make the minimum, so make the minimum pixel size like 20. Still not, well, I don't like that at all. Okay, hit okay. Hit done. Okay, go to the next layer. Yeah, change style, options, scroll down. So we had 20 and 50. Make the minimum size 20 for that one too. Let's see what happens. See what that looks like. Hit okay. Hit done. That's okay. Bring the legend back up. Okay, that's not it. Okay, okay, go back to content. Let's see. Go to the first layer. No, the second layer. Second. Oh, go to legend again. Legend. Okay, go to the second layer. Go to content. Go to the second layer. Yeah, change style, options. Scroll down. Let's make that maximum 40. See what happens. That's a little better. Still not. Okay, hit OK. And then done. Okay, pull the legend back up. All right, click on the northwest corner site first. Okay, so we got 0.4. See that? Okay, then go to the other point. Surface temperature is no. Okay, yeah, surface temperature? Okay, is lower. Okay, that's correct. Surface temperature is lower at both points. How can we? Okay, so that's the current temperature. Okay, go back to content. Go to the second layer. Change style. Scroll down, go hit options. Okay, scroll down. So let's see. So we've got the minimum, it's 20. Let's make the minimum 30. Hit okay. Oh no. Oh, 30. Oh, what's going on? Ah. And then make the maximum 35 and let's see what happens. No, wait. Minimum and maximum can't both. It's maximum 35, minimum's 30. Okay, hit okay. Hit done. Go back to legend. All right, it's not perfect, but at least it gives us a better idea. Sorry, of what we were. Stand in front of cursor. It gives us a better idea of what the data are like in the database. So we can see that the now this is interesting. So we have surface temperatures in this, no wait, surface temperatures are lower. Click on that. Is that right? Yeah. Yeah, surface temperature is lower than the, yeah, okay. Surface temperature is lower than, okay, you can close that. All right. In both cases, but on the grass, the surface temperature is significantly lower on the grass. So let's see, what questions can I ask? I already answered the question I was gonna ask. So Sims, what Up here, so clearly you notice some difference between the surface temp, the 2 points. Let's see, we know what time of day it was. So what if, I'm gonna have to ask a what if question. So what if we went outside, what if we were outside under the conditions that we were under? Zoom in a little bit, zoom in, okay, zoom out a little bit. That's interesting. Yeah, go to base map. And changed it to imagery hybrid. So, okay. Okay, so if you notice that, so what if we went out, let's say on a sunny day, as opposed to the rainy day that we were out, how do you think your results might have been different?
I think the temperatures, the surface temperature for the northwest corner would be higher. And the current temperature would be higher too, but they would both be closer. But in the grass area, the surface temperature would be lower. And the current temperature would stay the same at the northwest corner.
Yeah, well, you know, what actually happens is when it's sunny, is that yeah, both the surface temperature on the grass and the current temperature are usually much higher. When we go out in the fall and it's like 80, well, not 80, it's 30 degrees Celsius outside. But again, the temperatures of between the difference between the surface and ambient temperature over grass tends to be closer. So you might have 85 degrees Celsius ambient temperature. I say 85. You're gonna have 30 degrees Celsius ambient temperature, and then the surface temperature might be around 39, 40 degrees Celsius. Where in the northwest corner, the surface temperature over concrete might be, who knows, 45 degrees Celsius, but the ambient temperature, because of the shade, will be about the same. But the concrete will make even in the shade will make somewhat of a bigger difference. Click on either one of the points. We'll click on the one that's so we can get the. Click on, yeah. Oh, okay. Let's see what else is going on here. So we got 90% cloud cover, nimbostratus clouds, grass, land cover. Scroll down. Time of day was 10:13 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, almost just almost 2.5 degrees Celsius difference between current surface temperature. That really, again, gives us a good idea in terms of design of green space and green infrastructure, just how effective they can be in lowering temperature. And when I was in DC last week, there's this whole, you can close that. There was a whole discussion about whether planting trees is really effective in terms of lowering temperatures, because sometimes they are and sometimes they aren't. And but like I said, I found that when we're out here in fall, not fall semester, summer season in August or even September, that even with the trees, that concrete still radiates some pretty high temperatures, even with the trees there. So the key is to have as much as possible ground covered by grass or some other greenery other than concrete. But then the concrete is a lighter color. So sometimes we find that on the off chance we shoot a temperature over that asphalt street, that'll be way hotter than anything else in the surrounding area. Okay, thank you very much. So we will move on to next. I will. So we'll move on, and then we will have. Okay. So moving right along. So we have white. Yes, sir. So which of you can present any of your maps that you created in this class. So which one do you want to present?
Can we do like the first one?
Okay, so introduce yourself, name, where you're from, major, and we'll get rolling here.
I am Samuel White, freshman aviation major from Denver, Colorado.
Okay, so as I mentioned early on, this is actually the cumulative map for the entire class, but since we're here, zoom out a bit. All right, yeah, okay, zoom in just a little bit. All right, click on the gray point symbol. You can it's right next to, not that one. All right, so that gets us into the data table. So scroll down a little bit. Okay, scroll up. Oh, that's not the data table. I know it's in there. Hit that little arrow at the top. See, that should take us, yeah, that. All right, that's the label. It's gotta be in there. All right, go to the okay, go to content. See on the GIS map too that table looking things, it looks
This
like
one?
a table. No, that, yeah. Okay, it's looks like it's jammed. Just close that. No. All right, let's try something. Go to open in map viewer. I'm just curious about something here. Okay, now maybe let's see. Now click on that. Okay, there we go. Scroll down. Yeah, okay, there it is. Oh, there it is. There's all the data. All right, so scroll down, let's keep scrolling. Okay, so well, we've been through this before, but with the viewing audience doesn't know that. So scroll up through the data table again. Keep going. Keep going. Okay, so this one we've already done before, but like zoom out. But this will just show, zoom all the way out, like all the way out to everybody's data. So this is the cumulative map. So notice that all the students that are listed there were the ones who completed the assignment, and then we took their data and folded it into a cumulative map. So let's try something here. So let's go to over in the right hand side, go to change styles, like up something to the right hand side, yeah, right there, change styles. You can slide that zoom window away over somewhere. So let's go to field, change field to average elevation, and hit add, and then notice that the okay, hit done. Okay, okay, go back, go to legend for a second. We'll go to, wait a minute, wait, I know what we need to do. Go back to styles. And then go through there, see where it says full name? Yeah, get rid of that. There we go. Now hit done. All right, that's much better. So now go back, I guess it is a legend. So now we can, clearly see that, Denver's elevation is significantly higher than all the rest of the students' cities from the class. This one, is that in Arkansas? Yeah, click on that one that's just north of, yeah, that's not that one, that's Memphis. Yeah, the one in Arkansas, Northwest Arkansas, click on that.
This one?
Yeah, it's interesting. So that's 1,300 feet. So that's, you're kind of getting into the Ozarks, well, the mountains there. So zoom in on that. Yeah, keep zooming. Yeah, so that's kind of, it's not as, obviously not as mountainous as yeah, keep zooming in. So I'm pretty sure, if I wanted to guess, that this is probably the topography base map. Yeah, so go to base map. Yeah, let's see which one is. Yeah, topographic, that's what I thought. Let's go to the imagery base map. Yeah, that one. Let's see. And then go over to Denver. And then we can just see how, if you can zoom in a little bit, you can see how dramatic the changes. So even though, notice that Denver is in like the just barely kind of, I guess, foothills, I guess you could call it that. And then it's really, then you just see just the front range just shoots up, it's very different from, let's say, if you scroll out, zoom out, and go back to like Nashville. And so Nashville, what's that? This Nashville. So if you zoom out a little bit, yeah, go to the east, like, yeah, east. Keep going, yeah, right there. So you could see the, like, the Cumberland Plateau between Nashville and Chattanooga. But there's like no comparison. I mean, I can't even describe you because before I went to the Rockies, I was, we used to go to the Appalachians. Oh, we're in the mountains, And then I went to Vail, and I was like, nah, we were kind of in hills. Now there are some, 6,000 foot peaks in some parts of the Appalachian range, but in the Rockies you get well over 12,000.
Couple of 1,400.
Yeah, so it's yeah, I've been there. Actually, I went to go to let's see, Go to National Geographic, the National Geographic base map. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, zoom in
On which one?
on Denver. Let's keep going, Yeah, front right. Zoom out, go north. Older. Oh, where is it? Yeah, there it is. Rocky Mountain National Park. So zoom in on that. See if they give us any element.
You got 10,000 right here.
10,000. Yeah, I was at Estes Park, which was about 9,000 feet above mean sea level. And I decided to work out. Which was interesting because, you know, I mean, I'm not like, it's not like I'm out of shape or anything, but I could feel the elevation at first, like the first half mile of my run, I could really feel it.
Got a couple of 14,000.
Yeah. But then once I got to maybe about a half mile in, you know, it wasn't easy, but it wasn't, it's the first half mile, I was like, oh my gosh. But the craziest thing that happened, I'm sure White has seen this, there are these like, I guess they're elk, which are they're just hanging out. I mean, they're like squirrels. I mean, but they're big. I mean, they're just walking around like, what, aren't you guys scared of humans? So I'm on the trail, I'm running, and you know, I've seen all these docile elk, right? They're just hanging out. And I see this huge elk, I mean, huge on the trail, but I figured, you know, it's not gonna do anything to me. And so I'm running, I noticed it was a mother, and I got up close, it had two baby elk nursing, right? Man, I got about 50 feet from that mama elk. She squared up on the trail like, what? I was like, get out of here. I mean, oh my goodness. I mean, she was huge. I mean, I know her back, and in the head, I didn't want to deal with that. You know, Mama Elk was not playing that day. All right. So yeah, so we notice we changed the base map. You can kind of find some things on the map that you necessarily would not. What was your landmark?
Ball Arena.
Okay, Ball, is that where
That's the Nuggets play.
Oh, okay. Ball Arena. Yeah, I think I saw that. Yeah, where is Cherry Creek? Cherry Creek.
Well, Cherry Creek is like a city.
Yeah, because I know there's a greenway that runs along, because that's where I got my runs in. It was like a nice running path along Cherry Creek. Yeah, somewhere in here. Yeah, there's a lot of nice running paths through Denver. All right, well, thank you very much. So that concludes our student map presentations for this year. So we will have another year of map presentations. And so we will pick this up again in the fall with GIS Day. So for the remainder of the class, I'll just have to get into some other things, such as back. So we left off last time. Anything that's left to get into in terms of this for quiz is this part of the unit. I'm going to continue this on Thursday. I'm going to start today, and that is the CIA cocaine conspiracy, which oddly enough, even though it's kind of a racy topic, the CIA crack cocaine conspiracy really pulls together all of the elements of this unit. It draws upon the cultural geography of Latin America, the political geography of Latin America, pulls upon the physical geography of Latin America, and so on and so forth. So getting right into the subject, I did mention, just to review, there is this phenomenon of transculturation that exists within the Latin American region. So, of course, transculturation differs from, of course, acculturation in terms of the fact that in many cases, indigenous people, as we mentioned, are able to hold on to their indigenous languages throughout Latin America. Their cultures, their identity is retained, as opposed to acculturation, which happens here. And I've been through this with the Crown Act and how in this country, everybody pretty much has to become some representation of Anglo in order to navigate society successfully. Speak like the Anglo, dress like the Anglo, behave, listen, wear your hair like the Anglo, you know, everything in the fashion of the Anglo culture, or else you basically don't exist. Or you can even face retribution as the young man who decided to wear his hair naturally, or in cornrows or whatever in Houston, Texas, and was expelled from school. But don't make the mistake of feeling as if, well, because indigenous people have their culture intact, that they are included in the mainstream political and economic power structure in Latin America and the Caribbean, as Native American people in this country are relegated to the reservations. So they also are in terms of they might not be on reservations in Latin America and the Caribbean, but they certainly are politically and economically marginalized. And so there was a period of time in the 1990s, in the early 2000s, where where indigenous people in Mexico actually rose up and engaged in a violent uprising. It's called the Zapatista Rebellion, which is described in detail in the textbook here in the Oaxaca region of Mexico. And so this kind of organized rebellion is an example, just exemplifies the fact that, you know, in some cases, Native Americans throughout this region live somewhat on the margins of political and social empowerment. So it should come as no surprise that we start to look at the heart of the crack cocaine conspiracy and explosion, that we see Native American people. And so here we have a graphic or an image showing Andean women bring in cocaine cash crop. Andeans, Melcora, Corachawa, and Felalia, Upse, and totally can't remember his name. Harvest coca leaf, the raw material for cocaine in Santa Rosa in the southern Peruvian city of Ayacucho. The coca farmers who, like their ancestors, chew wads of dry coca for energy and to ward off hunger are on a strike and protesting against a government plan to weed out the crop that has given Peru the unenviable title of the world's #2 cocaine producer. So these indigenous people able to hold on to their language, their culture, their way of life, which includes the coca plant. But what these indigenous people are saying is, hey, we're just going to use this coca plant for medicinal purposes. We're not going to put it in a pipe and smoke it. If you want to put this coca plant pipe and smoke it, if you want to cook it up on the stove and make bricks, you know, break down a brick, if that's what you want to do, that doesn't have anything to do with us. This is our culture. So why are you making this illegal? So these indigenous people are almost doing protest agriculture, right? In a way, to say, okay, we're not doing anything that we haven't been doing for thousands of years. You won't want to break down a brick, right? Cook it up on the stove, get a pipe. We're not doing that. We're just trying to survive here. Now, what's interesting in terms of survival, like I said, this almost ties everything together in this unit, even though it's kind of a racy topic. We go back to the physical geography of Latin America, and the whole concept of altitudinal zoning comes to the fore, and we see that, of course, the high elevations of Latin America, well, specifically the Andes range where these people are, allows for the survival of the coca plant at these high elevations. Because if all of the Andes range was down in the Tierra Caliente range, which is very hot, coca plant could not survive. But because we have these high mountains that result in altitudinal zonation of different climate zones, coca plant can thrive at these very high elevations. And so